Green. He was recently on Paul George's podcast talking about the 2020 NBA draft. He claimed the Pistons were going to draft him number 1 overall. You know what I hate about that clip when he's talking to Malika Andrews? She acts like in that moment, she's like, what do you say for all the teams that don't have a Jalen Green? Only one team didn't draft him. He went number 2 overall. What do you mean teams? Why is this plural? There were only, because he went 2nd overall, there were only 2 teams that could have had him, either the Pistons or the Houston Rockets. That's it. I thought it was such a weird question by Malika Andrews in that moment. It's my biggest gripe about that. But I don't ever think Jalen Green was actually in play for the Pistons at number 1. I don't even think he was in play for Houston if they were drafting number 1. I just think Kade Cunningham was number 1 and the clear-cut favorite no matter what. That I don't know what Jalen Green's trying to do right here, but I feel like this is something that's going to be brought up throughout the entirety of his career. Don't you?
I do. And the reason why Malika Andrews said that is because she's from Houston. That's the biggest thing. Now, for Jalen Green thought he was going to get drafted by Detroit. He said he killed the workout. He said, I had them scrambling. I'm kind of with Jalen Green because I remember during the draft process, there was no guarantee that they were going to draft Kade. There was Jalen Green, Evan Mobley, and Kade Cunningham. And I think the Pistons didn't know. Even Troy said, he's like, I didn't know who I was taking until draft night. He's like, I just didn't know. But Jalen Green does talk about Detroit a lot, which, I mean, I probably would too if I was the 2nd overall pick and, you know, they bring me in for a workout and they were impressed with me and then they don't draft him. I can understand that, but like, I'm not mad at it either that they picked Kade because I thought that was the right choice. But like, I'm not going to sit here and say that like he's lying because I don't think that. I mean, I was reading articles from the 2021 draft and like there was real conversations of the Pistons selecting Green over Kade. There were real conversations of Evan Mobley being the guy at 1. So I don't really know what to make of this comment by him, really.
See, I know Troy Weaver said that, but I mean, I really don't think anybody else was in play at number 1. I think it's just him doing his due diligence. I thought when you're looking at Evan Mobley, you are seeing a very good defensive player, but you're not seeing a franchise 2-way player. With Kade, I think you are seeing a 2-way player that's going to carry your franchise. With Jalen Green, I mean, he's a really good scorer. You know, he might be the next Zach Levine. You know, who knows? I don't know. But I still feel like Kade Cunningham was number 1. I feel like Jalen Green is just, maybe it's motivation for him. That's why he keeps telling himself that. Maybe he did kill the workout. I have no idea. I just don't think he was actually in play for number 1. I really don't. I think it was Kade Cunningham all the way. He came in. He was being compared to Luka, you know, and I understand that there were articles being written about like, and those were the conversations, but from what I remember at that time, it felt like everybody I knew was like, dude, it's Kade Cunningham and there's no questions about it. That's what it felt like to me at the time. Because I remember even going on another podcast saying, I hated that we couldn't discuss anybody else at number 1 without just being told to shut up. But I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah. Like I said, I think that the Pistons got the best player available at 1. I can't wait for Kade to, you know, talk about this because I'm sure he'll have some type of way. Because I do remember during his media availability, people are just like, were you kind of like upset that it took the Pistons this long to make a decision? And like he just had a political answer. So like, oh, you know, they got to do their due diligence. But you could kind of tell like on his facial expression, he's like, no, I'm the best player, damn it. Like, what's taking so long to decide?
Don't you think too, though, the NBA might tell teams to draw it out? Like, hey, even if we know, within like the first 3 seconds who you're taking with this pick, just buy us a little time, okay? But also, you never know what's going on in that draft room for GMs. How many times are they answering the call? What is being thrown on the table for the number 1 pick at that time? You know, I mean, I can only imagine how many times Troy Weaver, right before he turned in that envelope, he was just like, decline. Because I'm sure his phone was blowing up. I'm sure it blows up until the very second you turn in that card. Probably even a few seconds afterwards.
Yeah, I do. I do remember when we did draft Kade. I think that first pick was in within like 20 seconds, and it was so fast.
Oh,
Like,
okay. Yeah.
do you remember that or no?
No, I mean, I would, because I do remember it being kind of fast, but I thought maybe I'm like, wait, did it take him time? Did he use up the full amount of time to turn that in? I didn't. That was the part I was a little confused by, because I thought it was like pretty quick. I thought it was just like, we're not second guessing this at all. Here's the envelope. It's Kade Cunningham.
Yeah, like I said, I'm kind of happy that the NBA is not like the NFL draft where you have to wait like 30 minutes for a pick in the first round. But I don't know, man. I'm happy with Kade. Like, if Jalen Green has to, talk about it, because Paul George did ask him the questions like, did you think you were gonna go to Detroit? And he's just like, yeah, I thought I was, but like they obviously went with Kade. And he's like, I'm cool with that. I'm in Houston now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't think Jalen Green could have really done anything for him to supplant Kade Cunningham. I really think Kade Cunningham was firmly number one, no matter what.